Hello, this is my Scrum Masters Elite_UK, providing insights, analysis, and detailed evaluations of rugby. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my latest analyses.
From my personal perspective, the controversial try scored by the English winger in the match between Northampton Saints and Sale was not merely a technical incident on the pitch. It was a vivid illustration of the complexity, subtlety, and at times divisive nature of modern rugby laws. I believe this was a particularly valuable moment for viewers, players, referees, and even experts to reflect on how we approach the laws of the game. Do we rely on emotion and ingrained viewing habits, or on a strict reading of the written law first of all? I cannot deny the sheer appeal of the play itself. In the 77th minute, when physical condition, concentration, and mentality are all at their absolute limits, Aaron Reed's attempt to save the ball from going into touch. Tommy Freeman's aggressive challenge, followed by his deft diagonal kick back infield for Pollock to chase, catch, and score, formed a sequence that demanded exceptional reflexes, speed, and composure. It was Pollock, with his explosive acceleration and ice-cold finish, who completed the move that effectively killed off Sale, helping Saints secure an emphatic 29-43 victory, and further consolidate their position at the top of the Prem rugby table. From a purely technical standpoint, this was a beautiful piece of play, embodying the modern, high-tempo spirit of rugby. However, I understand why this try sparked such intense controversy. On the slow-motion replays, the image of Freeman standing extremely close to the touchline, at times seemingly with his right foot on or even beyond it, easily gives viewers the impression that the ball was already dead, and that the try should therefore have been disallowed. Austin Healey's reaction on TNT Sports, marked by clear surprise and frustration, partly represented the mindset of many fans. They saw a player touch the line, and instinctively assumed that everything that followed should be penalized. In my view, this is precisely the crux of the issue, the difference between watching the game by feel and interpreting the laws. Healey is a former England international, well known for his sharp understanding and analysis of rugby laws, so his objection was not emotionally groundless. When he emphasized that Freeman had touched the ground outside the field of play and was in control of the ball, he was reflecting a long-standing, commonly held interpretation, that once a player touches the touchline and influences the ball is out of play. Many fans on social media reacted in the same way, some even branding the referee a farce. Yet I believe that if we put emotions aside and refer strictly to World Rugby's law book, the decision by referee Anthony Woodthorpe was far from arbitrary. Law 18, particularly Clause 18.2.d, clearly states that a player may kick or bat the ball while in the field of play, provided they are not holding the ball and the ball has not crossed the plane of touch. In this situation, Freeman did not catch the ball, did not cradle it, and did not attempt to retain possession. He merely executed an instantaneous kick to bring the ball back into play. From a technical and legal standpoint, that action fully complied with the law. I greatly admire the officiating team for calmly consulting with the TMO and reaching a decision based on the law, rather than being swept up by crowd pressure or the reactions of high-profile commentators. In an era where rugby is under ever more intense scrutiny from media and social networks, standing firm behind a decision that is legally correct but visually unpopular is no easy task. This speaks volumes about the professionalism and composure of the Prem rugby refereeing team. From another angle, I think this controversy highlights a broader issue. Rugby laws are becoming increasingly detailed and complex, while most fans, and even former players, continue to interpret situations based on experience and long-standing habits. Law 18.2.d is rarely applied, so it is understandable that it came as a shock to many viewers. But it is precisely moments like this that underscore the importance of staying up to date, developing a deeper understanding of the laws, and respecting them, rather than relying solely on intuition. I also do not fully agree with claims that this was an undeserved try, or that Saints were simply lucky thanks to the law. In reality, taking advantage of a rarely invoked law requires quick thinking, clarity of mind, and precise execution in a very short space of time. Freeman made the right split-second decision, Pollock chose a legal line, and finished with perfect timing and speed. That is not pure luck, it is the product of coaching, tactical awareness, and on-field chemistry, from the competition's perspective, I believe this try, despite the controversy, actually enhances the appeal of Prem rugby in the build-up to the Six Nations. It serves as a reminder that rugby is not only about collisions and brute strength, but also about intelligence, laws, and the finest of margins. The fact that Planet Rugby later confirmed with a leading professional referee that the interpretation of the law in their article was correct further strengthens the case that this was not the historic mistake some feared. Ultimately, my personal takeaway is that the debate surrounding Pollock's try should not be viewed as a blemish on refereeing standards, but rather as a lesson. A lesson for fans to deepen their understanding of the laws, for commentators to exercise caution in on-air judgments, and for players to make full use of everything the laws allow. Saints won deservedly, Pollock's try was legitimate, and rugby, with all its complexity, once again proved that its beauty lies not only in physical power, but also in intellect and law.
Thank you. That's all for today's video on my Scrum Masters Elite_UK. Keep following to not miss the next rugby analysis. Click subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet.